Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakhakodash. Say double honors to our apostles and elders here, Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So I wanted to do a follow-up, brother, to the class yesterday over how the scriptures tell you that the blood is the life thereof, and how it ties to Yahweh Shai, especially, and then regarding the Passover. But I just wanted to look up because the Lord gives us commandments for a reason. And a lot of times we learn things in hindsight, just like the mixing of the fabrics. If you read it at surface value, especially growing up in this life where everything you buy has mixed fabrics, whether it's 50% cotton and polyester, nylon, so forth and so on, you say, I wonder what the big deal is, till you go and do research on it. And what you find out is that there are different frequencies, and everything you put on communicates with your body, and it helps to uplift your body as well as your organs. Just like all your organs have a pH level, your body has frequencies as well. So you're not supposed to mix or wool or linen together, because together it'll collapse the magnetic field, bringing it to zero. So you learn things in hindsight and why it's beneficial. So I wanted to just look up the health benefits as of why you're not supposed to consume blood. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but believe it or not, this is a practice in the world, especially with these Edomites. We'll probably cover that too. These Edomites, how Esau Edom even got that name, Red, is because of what? Some uncooked food. I mean, it still had the blood in it. And you know that these Edomites, by nature, they love blood. And they also have what they would call a delicacy, something called blood sausages. Not just them, but especially them damn Ammonites, all these heathens, man. And it's just filthy, it's disgusting. And it's the reason when the Lord gave us our commandments, it's the other nations typically did the opposite. The other nations committing incest, sharing wives, marrying their sisters, and stuff like that. We weren't to do that. So in the length of time, we would be highlighted as the children of the Lord, because when they go to inspect the nation of Israel, you're going to find nothing but righteousness. Just like the queen of Ethiopia, I want to say, when she came to inspect the kingdom of King Solomon, her expectations were exceeded. And she said, the rumors don't do justice as of what I've seen. And when she saw her palace, she saw order. She saw things beautiful. She saw healthy people. She saw healthy couples, right? A man and his wife or wives, and people in order, people happy. Wasn't no murdering, wasn't no stealing, no envying, no backstabbing. Nobody was cooking pork in the market. No selling the pork. No nothing. Things were just order. People were healthy. And when they inquired, why is this? Well, the good Lord gave us the commandment to refrain from doing this and to refrain from doing that. Nobody shaving their head bald, shaving off their beards. Women weren't running around with provocative clothing, things like that. No, that didn't happen in our area. And in the long run, you found out that our people had we would have the highest success rate of health. We would have the best success rate in just about everything, because we followed the order. Them other heathen nations were dealing with women on their cycles, all those things. When the Lord told us not to do it, it's because those other nations were doing it. So you just type in drinking blood, is it safe? And as this woman says here, drinking animal or human blood can have severe health risks, including the risk of contracting blood-borne illnesses. Medical professionals do not recommend this practice. Drinking blood, animal or human, is haute cuisine in vampire fiction, but in real life it has no known health benefits and can have severe health risks. So there's no health benefits to doing that, none. And exactly, me personally, I've always found vampires to be extremely boring and dull and uninteresting. I hated all the movies and stories regarding vampires. So boring, there's nothing to them. Well, just a bunch of Edomites feasting off blood, and they're afraid of the sun. I can see why the Edomites would make up their story, because it's basically like if you had to put their whole persona or their whole identity in some type of power or whatever, sure, these Edomites, you're a bunch of damn vampires. You represent darkness, death, and evil, but I never liked. Yeah, I know they made like Blade and stuff like that. It was just so, me personally, it was just boring. So, is drinking blood safe? It says drinking raw blood is not a safe practice. Because you got animals and then you have humans. So here's some of the risks. It says bloodborne illnesses, exactly, because the stuff is in the blood, and you can get like hepatitis B, C, norovirus, the high five. You got hemochromatosis, and that's when your body has too much iron, because your body can't really get rid of iron like that, and your blood is rich in iron. So you basically harming yourself, and it can cause organ failure too. It says the heart, endocrine system, liver, pancreas, joints. And it can basically cause a lot of problems. And we'll just read the law on that. The blood remains in your body. It acts as the life source for your organs, and it pumps oxygen through your body. It's meant to do that one. In the eyes of the Lord, it is not meant to be consumed. It was not meant for us to eat and drink. Like we're not animals, even though we are animals. Our system is different. Okay, let me first read that. This is Leviticus 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourn among you eat blood. So the blood from the animal sacrifice was given as a service, not to be consumed. But like Moses, I believe, if I recall exactly, when he anointed the priests, or maybe it was all of Israel, but he would dip the blood in hyssop, right, purifying it. Well, I'm sorry, dip hyssop in the blood, purifying it, and then he would place it upon the priest's right ear and their big foot, their big toe, right? And we use the blood for putting on the front of our doorposts, and for the Passover. So it's like a covering. That's what it's meant. It's not meant to be consumed, as the other nations actually make it a delicacy, and I'm going to show you. And it's pretty disgusting. Verse 13, and whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. So just like when you catch a kill, you catch a hunt, you got to take the time to what? If you're going to take the guts out or whatever it is, but you got to basically wring the blood out. Just like now, if you get some ground beef or something, and, it may have some blood in it, small amounts, and then you can kind of drain it or whatever it is. And that's the whole point of cooking it too, because when you cook it, you're getting all that excess blood out of there. When you eat stuff raw, like Esau Edom, then you're eating it with the blood in it. That's why basically this law proves that we cooked our meat, cooked our food, lest it be unclean, or how should I say, undone. And then in the long run, you see all the health benefits behind it, like eating pork. Our people really want to eat pork, and they want to justify eating pork. When the Lord told us not to eat pork or other animals such as shrimp, crab, or lobster, any other abominable food, it's for a health benefit, a health reason. Your doctor knows if you're a swine eater. As soon as you walk in there, they're going to take some blood pressure. They could just look at you and tell, okay, this guy eats swine. We know you eat swine. So, and at the end of the day, whenever you want to lose weight, get back in shape, fix your health, or whatever it is, they're going to tell you the same old remedies: diet and exercise. Change your diet and exercise, and you're going to end up having to stop eating those things. That's why people got health problems, because they want to eat those things and justify eating it, but they're only hurting themselves. And this is how we learn, Remember, prevention is better than cure, so better is it to not even have to be in a situation where you need to see a physician than to indulge yourself in these abominable foods just for your body to fail, and then end up having to see a physician anyway, and then end up having to stop doing it anyway. It's just like smoking. Just about everybody who smokes eventually gets on the path to stop smoking. So better is it to not even have to smoke in the first place than to later down the line get off of smoking when the damage is basically done in your body. I mean, it's good either way that you stop, but better is it to not even start. It's better to just prevent the whole matter from abstaining from the get-go. But nevertheless, if you stop it's always a good thing to get off that. You know what I mean? Goes on. 14. For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, you shall not eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. So in the sight of the Lord, eating blood or drinking it, to him is a disdain. It's like you're a heathen in his sight. Verse 15. So he want us to be clean. He don't want us to be like a heathen. That's why he specifically said, you children of Israel, you're not going to do that. That's why our people generally like what? Our meat, what? Well done, cooked all the way. Why? Because that blood is not good health benefits wise. There's nothing but problems. There's no benefit to it. Why you think these Edomites got all these health issues or whatever? Because they eat raw food. They eat pork, and they'll eat raw pork. Make it even worse. Let's show you. Let's show you. Well, first let me do this. 1 Corinthians 15. This is for anybody who wants to say like, well, animals do it, etc. Yeah, well, our bodies are different. Animals can consume those things with no issue. Esau's going to tell you, well, evolution, they've learned to whatever. Look, the Lord didn't give the commandment to the animals. He gave them their nature. They do what they do. They can eat blood. A lot of them, they're attracted to blood like a shark. They can smell it from miles away. That attracts them. A wolf can. All of them can. You know, that's how they get off. You got vampire bats exactly that exist, right? 1 Corinthians 15, verse 38. But Yahweh giveth it a body as it had pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, and another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. So it all depends. You know, we got different bodies. That's why some birds are clean to eat, some are not. You have a lot who make the argument, well, chickens, when it comes to food, like they just as bad as pork or the pig or something like whatever it is. Whatever your argument is, at the end of the day, the Lord said that the swine is unclean. So if you want to be a swine eater, by all means, go ahead. But then they'll get mad at you if you call them a swine eater. If you eat swine, why is it offensive? Because they know that being called a swine eater is an offense because you eat swine. And there's certain phrases out there like you are what you eat. You know, if you call somebody swine, that's an insult. So people who are swine eaters, but if you call them a swine eater, they get mad. They swear by their pork, them pork chops. But if you call them a swine eater, then they're going to have some type of problem with that. Something wrong with these people. But at the end of the day, the chicken is okay and the pork is. No matter what your argument is, the Lord created the creatures and he knows what's clean and what's not. He knows everything about it from their makeup. So just like lions and hyenas and leopards and all of them, they eat blood and drink it and so forth and so on. But we humans, the Israelites, the Lord said for us not to do it. That's simple. He gave it to us for other uses. It's supposed to act as life. It's not supposed to act to be consumed. But what do these Edomites do? They consume it. Like you have something called blood sausages, and it's just that. Check this out.
And to top off this spooky event weekend, you can go try some blood sausage over at the Bass Center this Saturday evening starting at 5 p.m. Many of you may have never even heard of blood sausage.
Look at how disgusting that looks. These are the Edomites. These are the Edomites. These are the heathens. These are their practices. These are their customs. And it's going to get even worse because they're going to tell you that the blood that they're using is even from a damn swine. So everything about it is completely abominable. And yet you Israelites out here, you hard-headed Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you fight up and down to justify eating pork and blood and eating your food raw because you just want to be just like the heathen. By all means, you go right ahead and do it. Just, make sure you show up to your doctor visits that you got going once a month or maybe even once a week because of your poor health, because of your poor habits. Yeah, you tell him that or her.
I didn't know what blood sausage was before yesterday. They literally cook these things with blood. And yes, it sounds gross and it also looks gross, I have to admit. But I learned really quick, this is an annual tasty and smelly tradition that the Basque community has done all the way back since the 1950s. Here's how the Basque Center prepares what they call morcillas.
Morcillas are used in the Basque Country, and it's one of the foods that are brought over, and the tradition of making them, as well as chorizos. So lots of people still eat them, not as many as used to, but a lot of people still like them.
And that's why you got to watch out for them Italians. Most of them Italians, pork is big for them, and yeah, a lot of them are Jake. But that's why, if eating any place from Italy, just know that pork is big for them. So you got to ask, if you at a restaurant, you got to ask for what's all those sausages. Like she mentioned chorizo, that's Issachar does that big too. You go to Mesher restaurant, you see chorizo sauce, that's pork. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
This process, all that is put together with the blood, mixed up.
It takes a little bit of elbow grease, you see?
And then put into the container that cranks them out into the casings, and the casings are tied and then looped, cooked, rinsed off and cooked, and then hung and dry out here every year. Now it's nice to see a younger generation getting involved in carrying the load, because a lot of our older generation is not here any longer. But it's a fun event. What's left over, well, the bigger part of what's cooked will be used on Saturday night at the morcilla dinner.
So the smell. Let's talk about the smell for a second.
The leeks and the onions permeate the block all week long while this is going on.
Now, I didn't get to try one of those myself. They look really tasty. They smell really tasty just because it's onions, but it really seeps into your clothes. I've got to say, these people have been down in that basement in the Basque Center for a couple days preparing this stuff. And they're cooking with onions, leeks, rice, and pig blood. So, I mean, it's going to be...
Ugh. You want to be like these heathens, man? These are the people you want to be like? That's the Lord be asking y'all all these questions. Y'all, Jake be wanting to justify eating all manner of abominable foods like pork. You think you're doing somebody wrong. You know what I'm saying? Jake will eat the pork and all that, and then they'll look at you as if it's hurting you. If anything, man, I just want to stay away from you, man. When you look at things and how they making it, look at that blood sausages, man. This is what the heathen do. They're literally eating abominations. It's abominable. And the Lord said for us, we got to be separate. 2 Corinthians 6, verse 16. And what agreement hath the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power. As Yahweh said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. So don't touch the unclean thing, and you will be received. That's a commandment. Yes, that's a responsibility for you Christians out there. You have a responsibility to stay away from the unclean thing, and that includes your diet. And I remember this was back in 2019, but you're going to see these Edomites taking their own actual human blood from their veins, turning it into a sausage and eating it. Edomites. The Edomites. This is how they got that name. You have to understand. Genesis 25, verse 28, 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a hunting hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said unto Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. This is how the Edomites got their name. Edom. Okay. Out of Wam. Because, where am I at here? When you click on the word itself, like, I'll show you. So down here, it'll say Edom. It'll say Idam, H123, but the actual text, which I just highlighted in the Hebrew, is Ida Wam. So you got to keep an eye out for that. Just like Yahushua and Joshua. When you go to Joshua's name, click on his name and it'll say Yahushua, but the actual text is just simply Yahushua. So this is Ida Wam. Ida Wam, Edom. What does it mean? Red. So Edomite literally means red man, red woman. How did they get that name? By that eating that blood, man. This is how they got that name. This is why they're called what they are. The Edomites. And we are to be separate from these people. And that includes our diet. That includes our hygiene. That includes our practices. That includes our methods. Everything, man. The Lord said, be ye separate. Blood sausages, man. You got videos of Jake trying that. That's unclean. Thus saith the Lord. Isaiah 52, verse 9. Break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem. For the Lord Yahweh have comforted his people, he have redeemed Jerusalem. The Lord Yahweh have made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God. Depart ye, go ye out from thence. Touch no unclean thing. Go ye out of the midst of her. Be ye clean that bear the vessels of the Lord Yahweh. So ye must be clean. Practice cleanliness, both hygiene wise and as well as your health practices wise, man. Take some, you could say, healthy pride in your health. Show that you actually care about yourself. Drink some water. Put away stop eating so much junk. Put the unclean thing away from you. They're your holy vessel. Make your vessel holy. One of the first things one does is what? Detox. The best way to change your diet is to first stop putting in junk. It's not about what you start stuffing down your mouth then. It's actually just a matter of what you stop doing. Your body naturally filters out the excess and the junk and so much, etc. You go on a fast from that, or you stop doing it, and then eventually your body will clean itself out first. So that's what it first starts with, man. So with that, shalom.